All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're taking a look at a really fascinating and, let's be honest, pretty complex spiritual text, the Law of One. Our goal is to take just one session from this material and see if we can turn its big ideas into a practical guide for finding some real inner balance. So, I want to kick things off with a question that might just flip your perspective on its head. What if all our efforts to fix ourselves, to improve, to heal, what if that was all based on a fundamental misunderstanding? This session offers a totally different way of looking at personal growth.
The source material comes from a dialogue with an entity named Ra, and it makes this incredibly powerful claim. It says that real healing isn't something we do to someone. Instead, the healer is more like a catalyst, a channel for what Ra calls intelligent infinity. You can think of this as the conscious, creative energy of the universe, the unity behind everything. The big takeaway here is that we aren't the source of the power. We're just the conduit for it.
Okay, so if our job is to become a clear channel, a conduit, how do we even start? Well, Ra is super clear on this. Before you can do any of this work, there's one thing you absolutely have to master to connect with this deeper intelligence.
The text gives us this beautiful image for you to access all the potential that's within you. Your mind has to be opened like a door. It sounds simple, right? But it's a huge idea. It's about making your entire inner world accessible. So, what's the key that unlocks that door? And here it is. The key is silence. And we're not just talking about being in a quiet room. We're talking about the ability to consciously silence that inner monologue, that constant chatter in our heads on command. This is presented as a serious discipline, not just some casual daydreaming. It is the first, most essential step on this entire path. Once you have that key, you can finally start the real work. And that work, well, it begins by turning your focus inward. Ra lays out a series of mental disciplines that are all about helping us map the landscape of our own consciousness. First things first, the very first discipline is about radical self-honesty. I mean, really looking. It means you have to stop looking away and instead carefully and meticulously examine everything that's going on in your own mind, without judging it or picking sides. And this isn't some abstract concept, it's intensely practical. Ra says you have to consciously identify your inner opposites, your polarities. So for every bit of patience you find in yourself, you also have to own up to the impatience that's in there too. For every moment of confidence, you have to acknowledge that flicker of insecurity. The core idea is that your mind already contains everything, the good, the bad, the whole shebang. Now here's the real kicker, the part that's so easy to get wrong. This is not a battle. The goal isn't to destroy your impatience or get rid of your anger. The text actually suggests that trying to pick and choose what's inside you only leads to blockages and a whole lot of confusion. The real discipline is to see both sides of the coin and to consciously accept the completeness of what you find. So, this process unfolds in 4 pretty clear steps. First, you identify those opposites within yourself. Second, you learn to accept that you're the whole package without judgment. Then, and this is where it gets really interesting, you turn that same awareness outward. Step 3 is to observe these exact same polarities in other people. And finally, step 4, you practice accepting their completeness, just as you did with your own. Now, this whole principle of balance doesn't just stop with the mind. The next layer of this teaching is about applying that exact same lens of acceptance to our physical selves, to our body. The source material has this fascinating term for the body complex. And get this definition. It's a creature of the mind's creation with its own biases. So your body isn't just a biological machine, it's a physical manifestation of your consciousness, and it comes with its own set of polarities. To make this point crystal clear, Ra gives this really striking example of these hidden polarities. He says, each biological male is female. Each biological female is male. Now, this isn't just about anatomy, right? It's about the balancing energies and archetypes that exist deep within every single one of us. But, and this is important, the text makes it clear that this isn't some simple checklist. Understanding the polarities within the body, whether it's in yourself or in someone else, is described as subtle work. It takes a really deep, nuanced awareness to truly perceive and grasp these balancing forces. Okay, so what's the point of all this? All this intense inner work on the mind and the body, what does it actually do? This is where it all comes together, moving from just understanding yourself to fundamentally changing how you interact with the world. And frankly, how you become a better person. And here it is. This is the real payoff. By mastering the balance within yourself, you develop this incredible ability to see that same wholeness in everyone else. You're no longer just seeing their surface level actions or their personality. You're seeing the entire balanced, complex system that they contain within them. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, when you see impatience in someone, your mind instinctively understands that its counterpart, patience, is also in there somewhere. You start to grasp their internal struggle for balance, and because of that, you can accept them without that knee-jerk distortion of judgment. You begin to, as Ra puts it, mirror their completeness, reflecting an understanding of their whole self back to them. And it is so important to remember this. As profound as all these disciplines are, Ra presents them as just the beginning. They're the absolute essential foundation for a much, much larger journey of self-realization that's outlined in the Law of One. And so we end right back where we started with a question for you to really think about. This session offers us a key, silence, to unlock a door in our mind. If that mind, as Ra suggests, truly contains all things, all polarities, and a direct connection to that intelligent infinity, what do you think you're going to discover when you finally turn that key and step inside?